out to eat at least once a month. Y'all best all raise your hands. I know y'all go out to eat. I'm here to persuade you to budget your money before you go out to eat to tip your servers. I'm going to tell you how much a waitress actually makes, how much their paychecks are after taxes, and the consequences when somebody walks out on a meal. They're not good. I want to persuade you to tip your waitress by explaining the hourly wages waitresses actually make. As a waitress, we don't actually make minimum wage. We would make $2.13 an hour. It's awful. Even after working 2 weeks of grace period of a paycheck, my paychecks are still maybe $0 and maybe $1.90 at the most. That's after they take out their taxes. Since waitresses work off tips, if no customers come into the restaurant, we make no money. Waitresses aren't allowed to work over 40 hours a week because our employers get so mad about overtime. So say you work 40 hours and no one comes into the restaurant, you're out of luck. You have no other options for money that can be used. It happens. Even after a 40-hour grace period for your paycheck, at the most you'll probably make a $7, $8 paychecks. I know, because I work the waitress life. Now that I've told you about how much a waitress actually makes, I'm going to persuade you how much you should actually tip your waitress and why. Like this picture, a pastor wrote, I give God 10%. Why should I give you 10%? I'll tell you why. When going out to eat, you should budget your money to at least tip your waitress 15% of your entire bill. Most waitresses consider it offensive if you tip any less than that. I'm a waitress, and I do take it offensively. Most waitresses are college students who have to make a living off of their tips. And if you tip 10% or less, it doesn't come to us mostly. Most restaurants, like Papado, has a designated tip pool at the end of the night. Papado's tip pool is 3.5% of your entire sales. It maxes out at $35. So if I make $170, I could have made $200, but I have to pay Papado to work. The tip pool that you do tip out at the end of the night goes to hostesses, busboys, the bar, things that I don't get to enjoy. Now that I've persuaded you to tip your waitress because of hourly wages and tip pool, I will now persuade you to tip your waitress because of living expenses. Most waitresses in today's society happen to be college students trying to pay their way to school. In all honesty, if you do not make enough money to pay for, you can't make enough money to pay for school, an apartment, gas, car, it's real hard. I'm always broke. As the gas prices go up, the waitress hourly wages stay the same, so I'm still making that $0 paycheck, and the only thing I make is tips. Just because we are your server doesn't mean you have to be that table. We are your server, not your servant. There's a difference between needing something for your meal and complaining about every little thing to get a free meal from our managers. It happens more than you'd think. You need to be more considerate of the server. You're not only their table, but you're not their only table. In fact, we do get busy, and we have about 3 to 4, sometimes more, depending on where you work at. If we don't get back to you right away, it's not because we forgot about you. It's because we're busy. Not all employees will be tipped minimum wage, so help them out by tipping them. In conclusion, here's another picture. You can't afford to tip your waitress. Don't go out to eat. Budget. In conclusion, not all employees get paid minimum wage. Some, like waitresses, only get paid $2.13, like I said, which they don't even get to see on a paycheck. So budget your money before you go out to dinner and plan to tip your waitress 15% of your entire ticket. If you really like them, tip them 20%. Some places have tip outs. Some waitresses don't even get to see your entire tip. Waitresses pay to work. Help them out a little and tip them. I'm done.